Vimal Dharamshivaya joining in right now. So Vimal, let me get your take in. You're joining in from Dubai, I believe. So, what is the kind of queries that you're getting right now?
First of all, good morning. And currently on the situation where queries are coming in, I'm actually experiencing buyers looking for some good deals around.
Really? Really?
Yes.
Okay, okay. What is the expanse and presence of India on the Dubai real estate scene? I'm talking from the point of view of Indian builders, of course, people in the real estate industry like yourself, and more importantly, buyers, HNIs.
Yes. India has been the largest buyers, well, not now, but over 20 years. And we have
Come
seen
on, guys.
Indians buying
You're telling.
property. Hello? Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Indians are buying properties for the last 20 years in Dubai. And the largest buyers of the UAE real estate is Indians. At this point of time, we understand that it will continue as what I'm seeing for the last 5, 6 days. There's been no movement. Everybody is still strong and positive.
Prashant Thakur with us as well, Executive Director and Head of Research at Anurag Group. Prashant, usually we ask you about micro markets here in India, but this is something that has been on the radar for a lot of people looking to even take advantage of the tax treaty. And so therefore, what are the latest trends that you're seeing in the property market there? Are people continuing to look with a lot of interest at that market?
See, let us first, acknowledge that year 2025 was the best ever year for Dubai property market. Approximately, 250 billion dollars worth property was transacted. And especially for Indians, I think it kind of has added advantage if you take into account, the proximity, the conducive policy that you have. And also, because of these factors, close to 22% of the buyers come from India. And having said that, the market itself, was on a strong note, and people were kind of debating already that whether Dubai property is overheated or not. This conflict kind of, intensified. As of now, what we are seeing is that people are taking a pause, but the sentiment, I think, is kind of quite intact for long point of view. So this is, in my opinion, based on my interaction with the clients and few big investors. I think people are kind of waiting and watching, and in fact there are few people who are looking forward for some kind of value buying amidst this kind of talk, correction or kind of stabilization. But the long-term story remains intact. Dubai is highly diversified market, close to 150 nationalists from different countries participate in the Dubai real estate market. And I think this phase would pass, but yes, these are uncertain times where purchase decisions on hold for some times, and they will wait for clarity. That's what we are kind of seeing right now.
Shant, good morning, Neeraj here. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate here, but I'm surprised that there is a fairly benevolent mood right now on the panel. Vimal also said that he's receiving queries for buying. I'm surprised. I would think that if I was a buyer right now wanting to buy into Dubai real estate, I would think that the lack of buying interest in an economy or a country which has been impacted by the attacks and which was considered to be the gold standard for safety is no longer that prices which were overly stretched for the whole of 24 and 25 would probably see at least a 22 or 25% corrective move. Why would a buyer want to come in right now wherein the anticipation would be that there will be a correction?
Yes, there would be correction. Let's go back in the history where we saw a couple of other crises happening in Dubai market. For example, the 2008 GFC crisis, we saw a price crash of almost 50 to 60%, and the recovery time was 6 to 7 years. Now, if we talk about 2014 oil price slump, the price that the correction we saw was close to 20 to 25%, and the 5 to 6 years. Now, another unprecedented event that we saw was pandemic COVID-19. There was a disruption of 1 to 1.5 years, but the price recovered sharply, right? So look at the fundamental of the country remains quite intact, right? And the kind of diverse buyers you have in the market, I think that provides the resilience. So what I meant was that, we are receiving queries for buying is not immediate buying, but people are curious to see whether they can get a bargain deal, or they can at least this gives them an entry point. There are a lot of buyers who feel that they have missed the bus. The kind of appreciation we saw from 2020 to 20, I guess close to 65 to 70% price appreciation we have seen. So there are a lot of buyers, a lot of investors who felt that they have missed the bus, and this blip, or let's say this, I think provides them with an option of taking a decision of entering this market. So there are a lot of queries, curiosity around, but yes, people are slightly cautious.
Yeah. No.
Some kind of economical
Fair point.
blip that we are seeing.
Fair point. But Vimal, that question is frankly directly to you, right? Are you indeed seeing buyers wanting to come and buy right now, or they are inquiring for projects and they will wait for a corrective move? Part two of my question would be, what would your advice be to somebody who's coming to you and asking you that should I buy right now or should I wait for a correction?
Yeah, so first I would address this to the first question, where we have receiving inquiries in terms of people are waiting for the opportunity or any good deals that come down to the market. So A, the buyers are open to that in the current situation. B, of course, we all understand how Dubai has dealt with crisis situations in the past and how it has bounced back. So the confidence is still there. See, currently there are no sellers that I am getting. Even if we have the buyers, we have no sellers who are showing any signs of selling, or we are only giving them reassurance. And I personally would say that if any seller is out there in the market to sell, they should hold on to the property, because real estate is about not panic selling. It's about long term, and that's what we are experiencing right now. We are having inquiries from buyers, but unfortunately, the sellers are still all strong, and I believe this moment will pass, and Dubai is ready to bounce back again.
Obviously, everyone hopes that, but we're looking at the whole real estate market from an investment point of view, and I understand, Vimal, your perspective will have to be more positive. I mean, you're sitting in Dubai in the business of real estate right now, so you can't expect any other view. But from a perspective of where prices could go, Prashant, at its very core, the idea that this is a safe haven oasis has been shaken for now. I'm sure it'll bounce back. Will that lead to a long-term re-rating of how real estate is viewed there? Because real estate in Dubai is also viewed with the fact that it comes with the ability to stay there. It comes with that golden visa, etc.
See, again, I would say that in certain situations like war and pandemic that we saw, it's kind of very difficult because you don't have a phase to kind of comment on. But again, having said that, the kind of fundamental and the kind of advantage and the kind of diversification in terms of buyers that Dubai provides, I think that's the core strength. So we would definitely see some kind of price correction, but again, as I said, that there is a strong feeling among various set of buyers and investors that they missed the bus to participate in the rally that they saw after COVID. We would see certain amount of dip happening. Definitely, there's no point that it will not happen. But again, the recovery, in my opinion, would be quite quick.
Would be quite quick. Okay, let's hope for that. Let's hope for stability to come back to the region. Definitely, everyone's interests align on that. Prashant Thakur, Vimal Dharamshi, thank you so much for joining in.